This program is brought to you by generous donations from the community and sponsored by Stifel Financial.
Good evening. My name is Lynn Forbes, your host for tonight's edition of Nevada County Now. The Sierra Nevada, known for its rugged peaks and gentle foothills, is perhaps less known for its native plant diversity. In May, Christopher McKessie, head ethnobotanist with Trash Panda Permaculture, and Nikki Hill of Groundwork Ecology Center and Native Environment Solutions led a tour through the Martis Valley Trail near Truckee, where they explored the wonders of trail snacks made from roots, pine nuts, as well as a variety of teas made from flax fireweed, nettle, and Russian olive. The tour guides explained the medicinal benefits and agreeable flavors these native plants provide, and how they often reveal information about their evolution and interaction with humans and animals. The group snacked on jelly made from violets, northern sanicle, and Sierra black snake root tasting like cilantro. Mackenzie and Hill explained that modern principles such as leave no trace, though well-intentioned, often create a barrier between wild ecologies and humans that lead to negative downstream effects. McKessie said, "I think it's more important to be aware and thoughtful and grounded in the traces that we're leaving, so that the traces that we're leaving are ones that are mutually beneficial." The concept of wilderness as being separate from human existence is actually a new concept, Hill explained, that is just a few centuries old. Many plants within the Martis Creek watershed, also known as the Timulic Valley by the Washoe people, hold cultural importance for the tribe and point to a long-rooted relationship and evolution with humans. An example of this symbiotic relationship can be found within tiny bulblets found at the root of flowering plants. These bulblets will grow into new plants, but not until they are detached from the main root, which often occurs when a human or animal harvests them. It's an adaptation and an example of how humans have been a part of beneficial disturbance. Familiarity is like knowing what your friend likes and how they got to be that way, Hill said. "I like to say that plants don't lie." She said, "They can reveal historical grazing and ranching, even if it's 100 years ago. Wild onions, blue flax, and sagebrush are just a few of the other plants identified and discussed on the walk. Building this knowledge takes time and starts with simple gestures and steps. That first step often it doesn't even need to be active," McKessie said. "It's just stopping and passively noticing. That awareness can then lead to a deeper dive into ecological relationships." For Hill, a big factor is interacting and observing. It's a living, breathing process, she said. To join one of McKessie's ecological walks and to learn more about Hill's work, follow the links in today's program notes. Don't go away. We'll take a short sponsor break and be right back.
Thank you to Stifel Financial, proudly helping individuals pursue financial goals, businesses and organizations raise and protect capital, and communities offer a higher quality of life. To learn more, visit www.stifel.com.
Close your eyes, breathe in, let go. Your body speaks in aches and tension, but with Michelle Mangini, certified massage therapist, that all fades away. With every touch, stress fades, muscles unwind, balance is restored. This is more than a massage. It's a journey back to yourself. Feel renewed. Feel whole. CMTMichelle.com.
With summer now in full swing, Western Nevada County is taking steps to protect one of the Sierra foothills' most iconic residents, the monarch butterfly. Monarch butterfly populations are on the decline in North America due to a variety of factors, including habitat loss, pesticide use, and climate change. Western Nevada County is a prime location for monarch breeding and migration because we are located on the Pacific Flyway, a major migratory bird route stretching from Alaska to Patagonia. Recently, local residents Peggy Wright and Mary Cahill participated in a workshop with monarch and milkweed enthusiast Mike Wallace. The workshop resulted in an initiative that would spawn a network of monarch way stations through the Western Nevada County area. The timing couldn't be better with the monarch mating season at its peak. Wright and Cahill have been reaching out to local organizations, asking residents to join the movement by starting their own certified monarch way stations, dedicated areas where monarchs breed, feed, and rest along their migratory journey. Monarch caterpillars eat only milkweed. Milkweed is the monarch's host plant, meaning it's the only food source for the caterpillars and the only plant on which they will lay their eggs. There are many different kinds of milkweed that monarchs utilize, including common milkweed, swamp milkweed, butterfly weed, and showy milkweed. County residents are encouraged to plant native milkweed species and nectar-rich flowers to support both adult butterflies and developing caterpillars. These homegrown way stations will not only contribute to regional conservation efforts, but also bring vibrant pollinators and natural beauty to local gardens. For more on how you can help, see links in today's program notes. We're going to take a short commercial break, but don't go away. We will be joined by Mike the BeeGuy after the break.
Are you feeling out of balance? As we move through life, stress, fatigue, and tension can take their toll. But healing is closer than you think. Come experience the natural way to restore harmony and the power of energy healing. Come experience Raven Wing Reiki, where we help restore harmony to your mind, body, and spirit. It's time to realign your energy with Raven Wing Reiki. Ready to begin your journey? Visit ravenwingreiki.com and discover the healing that awaits you.
Mike the BeeGuy Wallace is a licensed beekeeper and Grass Valley resident. He is the owner of 9 beehives and opens up his beekeeping world to the public by performing workshops and mentoring those interested in getting started in beekeeping. Rarely wearing a bee suit, he prefers short sleeves, shorts, and flip-flops. You might call him the bee whisperer. In addition to beekeeping, he has a passion for sowing and growing milkweed plants for our native monarch butterflies. We are fortunate to have Mike in our studio today, and I want to say welcome to you, Mike. Great to have you here. I'll get this for you.
Thank you.
So,
Sorry.
Do you have a monarch butterfly shirt as well as a bee shirt?
I have many monarch butterfly shirts, but they're mostly T-shirts and...
You wanted to dress up for the show?
Exactly.
Okay, I got it. So tell me about how you first got involved. I think we had a little bit of a conversation before about how your interest in monarch butterflies started when you were a little boy.
Yes. Actually, I remember way back when in the 6th grade in San Jose, where I lived at the time, we went on a field trip with the school to Natural Bridges State Park, which is above Santa Cruz there. But it's one of the monarch overwintering grounds. So the monarchs always come to the coast of the California for the winter and roost, and then they leave in spring to go into all the western states west of the Rockies. And I remember we were amongst all the eucalyptus trees, and the docent was telling us to look at all of these monarchs, and I couldn't see any monarchs at all. He offered me his binoculars, and he said, look at the leaves. And I did, and he said, those aren't leaves, those are all monarchs. And there were tens and tens of thousands of monarchs just all grouped together, looking like the leaves, but they weren't.
Wow.
So it was amazing. And then later on, when I got married, gardening in my garden in Campbell, my wife mentioned how she didn't see very many bees or monarch butterflies anymore. So I started to look into it, and it was like, wow. I didn't realize that both of them the populations were declining. Mm-hmm. And that's where I started. So I started my first monarch and milkweed group in San Jose. It's still going strong.
Wow.
But when I first started the first year, we would occasionally see 1 or 2 monarchs. And by the time I left 5 years later to move up here, it was very common.
Right.
They were just everywhere.
Yeah.
So it was great.
So your mission and your passion is to get other people to have enough interest to plant milkweed so that the monarchs have a place to stay on their migration through Nevada County.
Right.
How are you doing that? Tell me about your network. It's a pretty organic network, I believe, that started out with just a couple people.
Yes, it did. And I started a little group on the Nextdoor app, Nevada County Monarchs and Milkweed. And that really wasn't good enough because it didn't allow me to store files and videos and so on and so forth. So I moved to Facebook with the same name. And it's gone in 3.5 years. I think we have over 550 members now. And I just got my first monarch sighting actually in my courtyard last week.
That's exciting.
And it was actually a female, and I saw her laying an egg.
I was going to ask you, how did you know she was a female?
Oh,
she was laying eggs.
But not only that, it's very easy. The wings on the monarch butterflies, on the 2 hind wings, they have 4 wings. The 2 hind wings on the male, they have scent glands. So it looks like 2 little black balls. And whereas the female, on her wings, the black veins are much, much thicker. So I could tell she was a female before she laid an egg, but that was just a total bonus.
Well, you have a practice eye, for sure.
Yes, exactly.
So these people who have taken on the mantle of spreading the word and getting people, how did that spread because of this Facebook and Nextdoor
Yes,
presence?
I started to have workshops because, believe it or not, it's really, people that aren't familiar with the requirements, it's hard to start milkweed seeds. Okay, so there's a few tips and tricks. I give those in my workshop, but basically they need cold, moist stratification in order for the seeds to germinate. Okay, some plants require, they're like fire followers, pine cones. When a fire goes through, it releases the seeds, you know, and there's some other
Some disturbance releases the seeds.
Right, and so anyhow, it needs cold, moist stratification. That's why I do my workshops in January through March. They need to be exposed to the environment, so snow hits them, rain, sun, and so on. So my whole method is to mimic nature, because nature knows best, okay? So I have the workshops. I supply them with everything they need, from the trays. I like to use the trays because
so you're germinating
them
yourself as well.
Oh yes.
And so you're giving them to people who are interested.
Not only that, the workshops, they actually do the work themselves, and I give a little talk about the tips and tricks. So they actually sow 125 seeds of the native Nevada County milkweed plants.
Got it.
We have 4.
It has to be a native, obviously, it has to be a native milkweed.
No, it doesn't have to be. I do have some non-natives, like the purple milkweed from the East Coast, because back there they get a lot of water. Colors are so beautiful, but you have to be careful. Some non-natives can become very invasive, like the common milkweed. I never pass that around because it is just so invasive.
Does too well.
Yeah, it does way too well.
So tell me, just 2 quick questions, but then a bigger question about the monarch itself. It's not too late to plant milkweed this time of year?
I would say that's not necessarily true, because a lot of the milkweed, they need from 30 to 90 days of cold, moist stratification. And the varieties that need 90 days, obviously it's too late.
Yeah.
That's why I do my workshops in January.
In the winter.
Put them outside and they get it naturally.
Okay, so for people who are interested in perhaps doing this next season, they can go to your Facebook page, which is?
Nevada County monarchs and milkweed.
And keep up on the workshops and the other information.
Exactly.
In the meantime, this is currently the migration time. Yes, it's just starting. You say you just saw your first monarch.
They just came through, yes.
And so are there apps or some way we can take a look at this flyover, or are there areas in Nevada County that in which, you know, there are an accumulation of monarchs where you can go take a look?
Check back in 5 years.
Okay. Are you developing an app?
Right now, no. There is some apps. Journey North is an excellent
Journey
app.
North?
Journey North, because you can actually go down and see where is the monarchs, and you could zoom into California, Grass Valley, whatever.
Okay.
And it's a citizen scientist type thing. So if you spot milkweed or monarchs or adult monarchs laying eggs, you can actually go to that app and input it.
So have you report it, sort of?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. But one tip I would say is to help everyone's own privacy. You're able to put the location. Don't put your home location. Like what I like to do is
The monarch thieves come to your home.
the milkweed thieves. I mean, it doesn't matter. On the internet, everything is public.
Of course.
So you have to
Good advice.
be proactive.
So, other than the fact that this is an amazing, you know, a beautiful butterfly, why do we care about the monarchs as much as we should? Why should we care?
First of all, it is one of the largest native monarch to the western United States. Okay, it is the only butterfly, the only insect that actually migrates over 3,000 miles every single year.
Yeah.
All right. And the interesting point about that is it may take, there's two sub populations. One is the western monarch butterflies.
Yes.
The other is the eastern monarch butterfly population. The Rocky Mountains cuts it in half.
Got it.
So the western, they overwinter in California coast. They go.
And who wouldn't?
That's true. And then they go through, they migrate up into the breeding grounds, which is all the western states west of the Rocky Mountains. So all the complete western monarch population resides on the coast of California, whereas the eastern population resides in Mexico.
I see.
You've heard of the Mexico population. They grow all the way from Mexico to Canada.
Wow.
And what's interesting is it takes like 5 to 6 generations for those butterflies to make it to their breeding grounds. But an interesting thing happens is in fall, when they start to return, that generation that comes back, along with the western population, it's called a super generation. So number one, they have a special chemical that happens in their body that, number one, it prevents them from aging. And
wow, we need that.
I would love that. But the other one is it suppresses the reproduction, because reproduction takes a lot out of a body, especially as a woman, you know that. So those butterflies actually fly the full 3,000 miles.
That's just hard
back.
to believe, isn't it? It's just hard
really
to believe.
is.
You're used to hearing these facts, and you know, it really is quite amazing.
It is very amazing. And actually, in the world of insects, the monarch is the only one that does this. Nobody knows why. They didn't even know what happened to monarchs until 1978 or so. The scientists realized that they went to these overwintering sites because everybody just knew the monarchs disappeared in winter. So it hasn't been that long ago that we found out about the overwintering sites.
Well, absolutely fascinating, and people can get in touch with you through your Facebook page, I assume, and get all the information they need for planting the milkweed in the late winter, perhaps, or when taking your workshop, and helping the species thrive.
Yes, sowing the seeds should happen in the second week of January or so through March. That way they get plenty of cold moist stratification. And then the best thing is, with milkweed, it's deer resistant. And drought resistant.
That's good.
So it's really good around here.
Right.
So what we do is we take these trays and we set them in the backyard and just leave them exposed to wind, sun, snow,
Stress
whatever.
them out.
You just forget about it. All right. And what's nice is in spring at the right time, they pop up.
Mm-hmm.
You can transplant them or plant them in the ground. And after the first year, they become established, which means they don't need any more water. You don't have to take care of them. They'll reproduce on their own through rhizomes or seeds. And you're helping build a habitat, a really good habitat.
A way station.
That's
right?
true.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the waste station is not just milkweed. No one should ever just plant milkweed. That will attract monarchs to lay eggs, yes. But how about the males? Okay, don't forget about them. Adult butterflies only drink nectar for their food source. Okay, so you should have plenty of other flowers. In order to become a certified monarch waste station, you have to have a certain amount of flowering plants to supply nectar, pollen, and so on. So it's not just helping the monarchs, you're helping all of our native pollinators.
It's a complete environment for them. I get
Exactly.
it. So that's so interesting. Well, we will follow you on Facebook. I'm sure you're going to be posting photos as the migration happens, and
Yes.
perhaps some land in your backyard. We'll take a look and see.
I actually have a picture of the one that landed last week.
And did you name her? I was curious.
Nope.
Okay.
I don't do that.
Okay.
Because then they become like, farmers
little
don't like
pets.
to name their animals
Right,
because
right.
they're here and gone.
Right.
But I do have pictures of the egg that was laid and all that. So it's pretty fascinating.
Well, thank you for your work. It's super interesting, and perhaps we can have you back in January when you're doing your workshops.
Sure.
And
Oh, one
spread
last
the-
thing is I still have milkweed starter plants available.
Mhm.
They're always free.
Okay.
So, and I only give away the 4 native Nevada County milkweed
Again, they
plants.
can reach you for those. People can reach you
Through
for
the
those through the
website.
website or
Yes.
the Facebook page. Got it.
Facebook
Thank you so much. Fascinating.
All right.
Keep up the great monarch. Long live the monarch.
Thank you.
Well, folks, thank you for watching this edition of Nevada County Now. If you would like to help contribute or write stories, appear on a show, or even become a host, please check out the details on our website at nevadacountymedia.org/NCN. The program is local news and information brought to you by locals. Remember to stay safe, take care of each other, and get out there and explore all this community has to offer. Good night.